So how soon were you shipped back after the bombing, the two bombs were dropped?
You know, I didn't get discharged until 46, so I can't even remember.
Okay.
But we had, shortly after that, then we had to go back to Hawaii, pick up a liquor supply and the food so that when they had the surrender on board deck of the Missouri,
Yeah.
we had to deliver this stuff to the Missouri, and then going into Tokyo Bay, we were number 6 ship.
Huh.
So,
Huh.
and then we stayed there on patrol because, see, I visited both places where they dropped the A-bomb. Spent a whole day walking around in all that radiation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
One of my brother-in-laws was on the USS Cabot aircraft carrier in the Pacific, and they were there in Tokyo when the signing was done and stuff. But a funny thing about 2 years ago, and I saved the magazine, but I don't know where it is because I didn't mark it as one to save. But I was reading a diving magazine,
I see.
and diving in the islands over there. There's a lot of scuba diving over there, and I'm reading about the bombing and attack by Americans into the I forget the islands, the name of them. But it talks about the ships were there, and it named the USS Cabot, 1944. And I said, oh my gosh, and I called my sister and I said, guess what? I know where your husband was in August, September or something, 1944, it says here in the magazine. And, but I remember when I was a kid and she phoned a telephone company, a radio station, because they'd made a broadcast that a U.S. air carrier had been sunk in the Pacific over by those islands, and she was frantic, and she ran to the phone because both my sisters stayed with us in Napa, Idaho, while their husbands were at war, and one was in the Air Force on a B-24, and the other one was on that aircraft carrier.
Yeah, I just never thought of it before, but we had to notify the Japanese whenever a ship was going to give liberty to the crew. And I always wondered why, but when we went on shore, all there was in town or in the cities was old women. And then we found out later that as soon as they got the announcements, they took out all the, what would you say, the maidens?
Yeah.
And moved them out of town so that
Soldiers.
the only ones that were left in town was in the whorehouses. I can remember I pulled guard duty at one, and there was with the other guys, our job was to make sure they stayed in line. And I'll bet you that line was over a mile long. And then one time I had it in the house itself, and actually there was water running down from the upstairs bedrooms. Yep. And that was very impressive because on board our ship, one of the guys contracted venereal disease and slowly disappeared into nothing.
Wow. Well, and don't you wonder how many babies were born?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few of them.
I mean, you hear that about,
True.
Yeah.
Vietnam and
yeah.
Korea.
But All of it, I guess the biggest excitement was going through that typhoon we had after the war was over. Because, you know, they said on board our destroyer that if you ever had to walk on the walls, your ship would sink. Well, we walked on the walls.
Wow.
I always thought it was like throwing a cork in Lake Michigan. That's
Yeah,
about how.
bobbing.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh,
Hmm. Hmm.
yes.
So Jack, when you went in for this report, was it for, this is about your kidney too, right?
No, it's 'cause I had a heart murmur.
But it talks about your kidney too, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
And that you had something done in 2009? A radiology thing, but there wasn't a whole lot of change?
Right, yeah, they've been monitoring that for years,
Yeah.
since probably 2006, back in Illinois, or even
Right,
before
to be
then.
honest.
So,
Wow.
yeah, that's just, it basically says there's,
Mild
yeah,
diverticulitis, but even, wow.
which is common, I guess. It's not a big
Yeah.
problem, yeah. Women get it after pregnancy a lot of times,
Yeah.
so it's not nothing to worry about that much, apparently.
You think Dr. Scott will have a second family?
I wonder.
Wouldn't that be something with Gus still had grandchildren?
I wondered about that too, and I didn't have a chance ever to ask, but
Almost pray that he'd have a second.
That's interesting because
I mean,
she'd
she's
have
young
to be an
enough.
unusual woman if she doesn't want to have children.
Yeah, right.
And that's the case in some
Mary,
times.
maybe grandpa again.
Yeah. Could very easily be, unless she is so career-minded, that she wouldn't want to. But she's young.
No, oh,
And with her, and I watched her, and she had a lot of interaction with her little niece,
Mm-hmm,
you know, and
no, she'll probably want children.
yeah.
Never thought of that. I never thought of that. But that's like Steve's ex-wife, Amy. She never wanted kids when they were married. She doesn't want. She'll never have kids. She and Matt won't have kids.
No. Hmm.
Amy was so funny because she's a strange woman, but she couldn't stand her mother. Her whole relationship, the only relationship, was with her father. And even the father said to me that we were driving on Roosevelt Road one day there in Wheaton. We were going to we were going to pay 50-50 and carpet their house, and he and I. And we were talking about them living in Wheaton, and the father said, well, it's a good thing that they live in Wheaton, because if not, Steve would be left completely out, and every question or comment or thought she ever had would be to me, to him.
Yeah.
And so he said it's good that she's here and she can't come running to me all the time.
But she called him all the time.
Yeah.
She called her dad, and that was one of the big problems. I mean, because Steve wasn't given.
With Colleen's kids, Jim is the second boy. He turned Catholic.
Oh, he did.
Married a gal that was Catholic, and they have two daughters.
Huh.
And he settled in Arizona, and then within the last 2 years he went to Montana, because that's where his wife was from, and she got a teaching job there, and he did also. So.
Hmm.
Well, I have to hand it to Steve on that, because he stayed with God, family, and country, and he refuses to be Catholic.
We had one lawyer down there in Carrollton married a Catholic, and he went, and the kids went with his wife to Catholic services, and then she in turn
would come with him?
went to the Protestant services, and he was very religious or spiritual, and if some of the little churches' pastor couldn't handle it on Sunday, they'd usually call him, and then he'd come and handle the services.
Ah,
Sometimes she'd come with him, sometimes she wouldn't.
yeah.
Of
Well,
course,
that's how Steve and Amy started out a little bit, is that Amy would come to church with Steve, and then he would, even though he didn't want to many times, he would go with her. Because we had talked and said, you know, maybe it would be better to find out what you agree upon,
right.
and then go from there instead of always pointing out. And Steve was so concerned about the worship of Mary. I
Yeah.
mean, and just, well, a lot of different things, but all of a sudden, and Steve was not baptized as a young person. He chose, I mean, I don't know why, but he didn't.
Mhm.
And he chose to be baptized last year, and where he really understood what it meant and gave a wonderful testimony. And Lisa and her family came to that.
Good.
But after that, she will not.
Oh.
I mean, and she has given him such a rough time since then, and I just think there's a real spiritual battle going on there.
Probably,
Because it seems like it just, I mean, not that there weren't problems before and disagreements,
Mhm.
but it seems like it's even more so
Yeah.
now, so,
See, Eddie Rush went both ways. He said, that's good for business, going to Catholics and early, and they want, the Protestants want to win me. And so he said, then I go with my wife to the Protestant church, which was the Bible church.
yeah.
And he says, they want to convert this Catholic. So he says, I got customers galore from both churches.
Yeah,
But,
smart businessman.
And she was one of those that surprised me. She was one that was always quiet, but they raised the kids Protestant.
Yeah, so, it's interesting at home on Channel 11, which is the public
Right.
service thing, they have a lot of, like Dick Duncan and
Uh-huh.
some of those old timers now on discussing what Wheaton was like back in
Yeah.
the 50s or whatever. And he talks about Eddie Rush and where
Yeah.
that was, and I should record that sometime and let you send it to you, because it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, he high school graduate, come down there, car salesman, first thing, big cigars, half a step behind the old time salesman there. And he stayed with him.
Yeah. Did Dick ever work for you? Did you just get to know him, Dick Duncan, from Eddie Bush
Right,
working?
we worked together at Rush's.
Okay,
I started probably about the same time, but he
Okay.
started in the sales department, and I was hired
Does
to be a
this light
parts
go
man,
on?
but I ended up
Hmm?
in the
Oh,
service
yeah.
Did that light
department,
go on?
and
Sorry,
then ended up all over the place.
didn't think about it.
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe you recognize some of these people. This is who we were talking about that we can't figure out who it is. It's Mom.
Yep.
But where is
What
that?
house is that?
We don't know. We wonder if it's those people's house, and we don't know who they are.
There's no date on the picture.
No.
But here's the same house and here's the same.
No, that's not the same.
one.
That's Esther Stilger.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Don
So
Stilger's
that's not-
mom. We know who that is.
Okay, so that's not that house.
No.
Sure looks like it.
Mm-mm. Not at all.
I think that's.
That's you.
But that's you.
Yeah, we didn't sit next to each
Who
other.
is this? Oh, maybe that's Gus. Who's this?
I think that's Freddie and Judy, and you and Mom, and Marge, and me. I think that's Raleigh, and I think that might be Jack,
Okay. That's
but he's
Mom's.
got a big flower in the front of his
That's
face.
214. That's Union. That's your mom's leaving.
Yeah.
That-
And I wondered if it was at Dad's funeral or something. We're all there. Yeah,
Was that Tan?
probably.
Is this one of her sisters?
That's Rhonda. That's Nick, I think.
There's Molly and her intended,
Oh,
the one that's gonna go into sales.
he's nice looking. She's cute.
Yeah, a lot of those you've seen in there.
You've done a good job of keeping books. I mean, you know, and that, and
Well, I don't know, not that good.
I mean, you start at the beginning.
Jean's little grandson from Italy.
Oh,
So,
oh, that's the recent one.
yeah, that's the reason. I still can't believe that
Is this ANC?
No.
that graduate is Grant.
Yeah,
I've never seen him without a smile, and that he looked so sober.
Who was this?
well, he was posing.
Graduated, I think the next picture in.
Is that Ralph?
So is this
Yeah, that's the
is this
one
Larry?
Oh,
that.
Is that Larry?
yes.
Yeah, that would be Rex Arthur's boy that's graduating, and he just doesn't look the same to me.
Is this Larry?
Lloyd, I don't know.
Is this Larry's son?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my, Sue and Scott and, oh, those are Justin's, and there's, oh, and that's Noah,
Yeah,
and Jordan, Jonathan, Kelly and Jared. Is that Justin and Gretchen? And their I don't know their little boys. Violet and Sam, I think, is,
yeah.
I forget their. Oh, I got Nancy and Jonathan. I think he's probably, I wonder if he's working with Scott now. He's the one that's getting married July 1st. And he was,
Oh, did you get a graduation invitation for Cindy's boy?
not yet. I mean,
Not
it's
yet.
probably at home.
Probably at home.
They showed me one there, so.
I see. Okay.
Now, who's this?
That's Grandpa over in Italy, and
Oh, that's okay.
Jean's grandson, I guess you'd say.
That's Nikki and Rex, right? That's
Yeah.
Nikki and
Right.
Rex, yeah.
That's number 3 boy, or number 2 boy for Rex. It is.
That looks like us.
That's the same boy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that Grant? No, Grant's not.
That's be Nicholas.
Nicholas. Nicholas's. Oh, they sent that.
A lot of those are no particular order. They're just punched holes in so we can
Yeah.
not lose them.
Goodness, in this picture, Steve really looks bald. Mike looks like he has more hair than Steve does. That was at your birthday party at Suzanne's house. Look at Steve, and then look at his fat face.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He really looks. That's not.
Wow. That was a great idea you had.
Yeah.
Taking all those things that
Yeah.
came on your phone, I suppose.
No, those are mostly from Facebook, probably,
Yeah.
yeah.
So on the computer.
Yeah, and print them out
And,
for Dad, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
And they're cheap.
yep. And big so he can see them.
Yeah.
Jim McNulty, yeah.
That's Jim McNulty and
Yeah.
his wife. I guess
Is-
Florida became.
How old is Jim McNulty? Is he
I think he's about 60, let's see.
more your age?
Yeah, he's about 64, I think. 64 or 65. Hi, Rose.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's Wheaton. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, isn't he answering?
Let's go.
Okay, alright. Okay, I'll try. Alright, okay, bye. Okay, bye.
Don't you think this is our basement? Is that our?
Yeah.
Oh,
On
yeah, the red
Webster.
carpet.
I don't remember what that was.
No, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I remember when we came to visit there. Downtown Wheaton.
Too bad there aren't dates on it.
I know. Dolores. Did they sell Stilger's house? That was Dee. She was a pretty girl. Dee.
Yes, she was.
She gave it to her room, the lady that was living with her from Honduras.
She gave her the house?
Mm-hmm.
Left the house to her? Wow.
Yeah, that'd probably go on the market now.
Yeah,
Very shortly.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can see Paul. I mean, I can see some of the Rexilius in Rex Arthur.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's funny to get your glimpse and maybe it'll be an eye or an ear or a jawline or,
And Colleen, I would.
yeah. That looks like what, Rexilius, that was one of the bunch that settled in Wisconsin, and then when he World War II, he was stationed in Lake Placid.
Yeah, hi, he's not answering, so he must be outside working with the plants or something.
There, and then out of the blue,
He was trying to replant a lot of them, so he's probably in the backyard.
I kept in touch with him.
And are they related, do you think?
Yeah, they're
Oh no, I have company from Illinois, so I couldn't come, no.
Yeah.
not from
I told him.
that we know, but from probably a brother of his.
Yeah, okay.
So, 'cause there was that one
Okay,
that
bye.
settled in Wisconsin.
Who is this? Eric.
Oh, that's
Is that a Rex?
Andrea's
Oh,
boyfriend.
He's a
nice guy.
interesting to visit with. And very, very likable.
German guy.
Well, that's what I thought. He looked like.
His family's from Germany anyway, yeah.
Ah,
So he's real thin.
Yeah, very good.
And he's got, I guess, bad allergies or something, you know.
Now, you know what, looking at her, I see Cindy a little bit
Yeah.
in her. Not totally, but just through the, I don't know, through the eyes or something,
Mm-hmm.
that you can see. It's so fun to see that,
Yes, it
where
is.
you get glimpses
A
of,
resemblance, yeah.
yeah, and I
Uh-huh.
think, wow.
Hmm.
Oh, that's
Where
nice.
were we when we did your mom's 80th birthday party?
In
Took all-
Lombard.
Took
at
all these
that
pictures in front of this fireplace.
Lombard in that house, what was historical something or other.
Some kind of a lodge there.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Lombard.
the cabin.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like a cabin. I don't
Mhm.
remember where it is.
I don't remember
I-
where it is either on that
I
one.
don't either. I do kind of, but I can't
That was a good party.
In Lombard.
Yeah, that was.
Lombard.
This is really nice to have
Huh.
that.
I can't remember what building or where it's located.
Is it? It's not on. Is it on Lake Ellen? I know it was.
No.
They said Girl Scout or something like that. Yeah.
It was a new place and they had just
Oh,
kind
okay. Mm-hmm.
of,
Oh, it's off of North Avenue. I think it's right off of North Avenue then.
back then it was,
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say, did the Arboretum have places you could rent or?
yeah,
I
it
don't
wasn't
know.
in the Arboretum. It was
Okay.
kind of a new,
Maybe Gus will know.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were wondering, well, I was wondering, does Kohler still got their junkyard in Lombard?
Kohler's.
Oh, Kohler. When we go around, you know that curve when we're on the, when we go the back way
Kind of south.
over to even.
I don't think it's there anymore.
Over to Drury Lane. And we go through Lombard and cross the tracks and then go around that way.
And then you
I
then-
can't remember that it was still there the last time we went by there.
Yeah. And then I just every once in a while, Villa Park, that was Carnation Milk headquarters.
Oh, really?
That's what made Villa Park.
Huh. I didn't know that.
That was Sandy's old stomping ground.
Oh,
That's
so this
probably-
is Judy and Vernon's place down
Yeah.
in, it looks like a nice little place there. I stopped writing these letters because I got mad. 'Cause
You got
nobody
mad?
Gave me information. They would, you know, they'd say, thank you, but then they wouldn't tell, like Sue or
Yeah.
anybody, and say, nice to hear from you, or whatever. Larry was good about answering. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think Lori is still there
Uh-huh.
in Fort Worth, and, yeah.
Yeah.
And I gotta, you know, I reached out to her kind of and that, and then I didn't hear, and I thought I'm not gonna push it.
She gave you a nice reply.
She did,
Yeah.
and that, and I answered her, and then I thought,
It's kind of an awkward situation.
yeah, and I thought, I don't wanna push.
Right.
Well, she might have thought you were fishing too.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
And so, but when we were there for the wedding and I talked to the kids, I told them, you know, I asked about their mom and that, and told them to be sure and tell her, give her our greetings and that too, because I thought we didn't have any problem with her.
No, I thought she was really a wonderful
She's a
girl.
very
Yeah.
sweet lady, yeah,
Mhm.
and very talented, really.
Oh yeah.
Creative
Mhm.
with her art and the writing and
Yeah.
all of that.
Hmm.
This is the song, The Way We Were.
And before you started talking mean to me.
Well, that's because you're talking mean to me first. That's what, I saw that Cindy sent you a thing that said, ask them about the florist. Did you get that from her on her?
Oh yeah, yeah, and that she wanted to come up with you guys
Yeah.
too. She was mad about that. Yeah.
When we were riding someplace with Jane and Larry, I got a phone call, and it was from Downers Grove. And Lloyd said, don't answer it, because we get calls from all over the United States, New York
Every
or
city.
whatever, and so we don't answer them because we figure they're
Yeah.
whatever. So I didn't answer it, but I went back to look, and they had left a voicemail trying to find out who they were from. So it was a florist, and they left a message that they were leaving flowers at our house in Illinois, and here we were in Texas. So, and I made a mistake, and I said to Lloyd, well, here, you call them back and tell them, you know, that we're out of state. Well, he was worried about calling, not about calling them back, but telling them we're out of state
Oh, okay.
and thinking that somebody might come and get us.
Yeah.
I never read that last time, whether that was in there or not.
So he's trying to talk to them and say, and he's kind of skirting around, and I'm in the back seat saying,
But I did say we weren't there to take the flowers.
I know, but you skirted around it for a while, and I'm in the back seat saying, just tell them to take the flowers back and bring them back next week, that we don't want them, but I want to know who they're from. And of course, the delivery guy couldn't. He said, well, I'm not allowed to tear that open and look to see who it's from and that. And so anyway, so he, and my tone of voice wasn't very nice. The real me was coming out. And so he finally hangs up and I take the phone and call back
Yeah.
and tell him, you know, please. And I was very nice on the phone to them. And they said, the delivery boy said, well, I'll give you the florist, you call and talk to them. And so I did, and they were very nice. They said, we'll have them bring the flowers back to the florist, and we'll bring you a new bouquet next week, and on Thursday, and we'll call first before.
Yeah.
But of course, Larry and Lloyd, when they told the story, said that I called him an idiot. And I know I didn't.
No, I hope
I
not.
didn't. I know I didn't say that. I think he called me an idiot.
Oh, no.
Yes, he said,
Now you're making stuff up
Oh.
as you
no,
go.
I'm not.
Well, you are too.
Well,
I
said
never-
that
That's
before.
under
She meant it
gossip.
lovingly, though.
And that's bad.
Yeah.
But
I apologize. I said I was sorry, but I really don't believe I ever
But
said
she
that he was
wasn't
an
sorry.
idiot. How can you judge my heart?
well,
Tone of voice.
yeah.
So my best thing is just not, is to be quiet.
But you see, that's a big problem for all of us, because if we're gonna be quiet here, then we gotta shut it off up here.
I know it, and I
And how do you
can't.
do that?
I can't.
I can't either.
But even on my way over here this morning, I got my mouth shut because I had words that would have been not
That,
nice and
yeah.
Not-
Lord,
they
I
wouldn't
got
have been-
problems, you know.
yeah. I wouldn't have said idiot or anything like that, but I would have probably talked back. And I have
Yeah.
a problem where I talk back.
I remember upstairs when we had the guys there, and somebody made a comment and something unusual happened, and I said, well, the scripture says fools rush in where angels fear to tread. You calling me a fool?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he would bring it up once, you called me a fool once, Dad, and the Bible comes down pretty hard on
And
that.
it does. We're not, yeah. So,
Raka, fool.
so when you think of me, pray for me.
Well,
You'll know.
We can spend all day and all night praying for the family needs.
Yeah. Oh, Andrea's first book. To be human is to be a conversation. I think did you show me this book? Do you have a,
Yeah,
I think
you
so.
may have seen it last time when you were here.
Yeah, but I am impressed. Huh.
Is that the one or the second book?
Oh,
Maybe you saw that also, I don't.
Hi, Kurt. Rose thought you should call her something important, I guess. No, she couldn't get a hold of you, I guess. Well, she thought maybe, you know, you weren't answering
wow.
because you knew it was her and you'd call her back later or something. I don't know.
Do you think
That's
she
what I
could be
told her. I said
somebody
he's
that
got to be outside planting. That's what he was thinking of doing Saturday, so
I have a
or
children's
Friday
book.
rather.
Uh-huh.
That I want
So,
to.
yeah.
I don't know how to get. That's
Okay.
really good.
Talk to you later.
Well, she could probably give you some
I should-
clues or guidelines.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. I'll probably see you later today.
She'd probably welcome a phone call.
Okay. All righty. Talk to you later. Bye.
I should
Keeps
get,
in touch
yeah.
with, Gene keeps in can touch her pretty well.
That's neat. Did you read this about Andrea? I'm very impressed. Smart lady.
Yeah, she's doing real good.
Yeah.
She's a sharp woman. And a nice looking.
Oh, she's very attractive. She's pretty. I have a children's book. It's called, that I've written. I haven't done anything with it.
Oh, yeah?
It's called, this is my title right, Sam the Cat Burglar.
Hmm.
And it's based on a true story about a cat that was down in New Braunfels that would go and take things from people's yards. And so I just made it into a story with using all the kids' names and Mrs.
Oh, okay.
Rex and
Mhm.
Mrs. Scott and, you know, kind of things like that. So and then because I was teaching school, and I thought, you know, so often in books, after the kids would read, we would read a story, then there's comprehension questions kind of like that. So I did some of that because what can cat burglar mean? I mean, when you first start reading the story, are you thinking, is there a different kind of cat burglar than just a cat? You wouldn't think of a cat as a burglar and stuff. Then I did another story too that I haven't done anything with about called him Winston the Extraordinary Dog. And it's about a dog that could climb trees. Well, then when we were down there at Larry's, Cindy got out some albums, and when she brought that dog home, Chelsea and Lloyd was so, not Lloyd, but Larry was so upset that she brought it home. And then he grew to love that dog and would cook that dog breakfast, eggs, and bacon and stuff. And they taught him to climb a tree. They said it was a low tree, but they had a picture of the dog in the tree. And so we were talking about these stories, and Cindy said, well, you should name that dog Chelsea. And then I could have the picture of Chelsea in the tree and dedicate the story to Chelsea.
Mhm.
So I may have to revise it. Well, we should probably think, if we're going to leave, about getting on our way. What do you think, Lloyd? Would you like to go for a little ride
Not
first?
especially really.
Okay. I think we're going to try and find, she said Southeast High School.
Okay.
They lived over in that neighborhood. That's where her kids went to school.
Yeah, that's
Is that
good.
very far from here?
That's getting down in Rhonda's neighborhood, is it?
Yeah, but I'm not sure where the high school itself is.
But
Yeah.
I've got her address.
Oh, okay.
That I
Mhm.
put into GPS. That
Yeah,
she gave
yeah.
me the address where they live. So I think we'll just kind of drive by that neighborhood.
Well, I always thought it was interesting that Andrea and her friend, the pet name she's got for him, she calls him Creature.
Is this Jenna's
That's
rabbit?
it. Oh yeah. And
That
that's
is.
Justin. Oh, we must.
Jenna's
Yeah,
rabbit.
because
See,
there's the.
Oh, there's the cage for it right back
Yeah.
there in the pen thing, dog pen.
Yeah. Oh, that was a pretty rabbit.
Oh, Jenna will love seeing that picture.
Jenna didn't take very good care of that rabbit. I ended up, having to feed it or whatever.
Mhm.
And I said to her one day, Jenna, if you don't take care of that rabbit, it's gonna die, and it's a pretty rabbit. And she looked at me. She said, "That's okay. I'll just have Mrs. Rowland make a pair of gloves from it."
Yeah.
And I could not believe it. Here, she begged to have that rabbit. And then it was, well, make a good pair of gloves or mittens.
Feel the love, huh?
And Mrs. Rowland, they made he built a really nice hutch for the rabbit and everything. And she said, and Mrs. Rowland is really a good seamstress. And it was
She's
like,
a good everything.
see, we don't know whose house this is. We don't know whose house this is. This one we figured out to be Stilger's house. That's Don's
Yeah,
still
that's
over
Don.
there.
This is Don's house.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
don't know whose house this is.
This might be the back of it.
I
No,
know.
Jack
it's
said
not,
no.
no.
never been, through the night trying to figure out some of those things and then.
This wasn't Elizabeth's house, so the back door, no.
No.
She didn't have a little thing
I
over it,
don't
did
think
she?
so. I
But
don't
there
know,
was,
though. It's out there in the boonies.
that's,
But-
no, this,
Okay, I
but
got
see,
it, I got you.
then this is the abandoned house
Yeah,
that we went in and I
Yeah, it
found
looked
that
like
high
some-
school ring.
yeah, it looked like somebody had been squatting in it.
Mhm. We gave that ring to one of the, to Danny Robinslaven or something.
Oh, yeah?
And he,
Mhm.
the
How
year
come
on
all
it,
these
he
cars
figured
are here?
out
Whose it was?
whose it
Yeah.
was or
How come
something.
all these
Wow.
cars are
Hmm.
here?
That was at District, I think that was at the reunion.
Okay.
And those were
Okay.
all the cars
Okay.
that were there.
I thought, oh.
But
Oh,
you
I
weren't
wasn't with
here,
you.
you didn't come to
I went to a
that.
different reunion where we parked on kind of a parking space. Kind of a blacktop open area. But no, I didn't go to this reunion.
Hmm.
Well, I can look at this and,
Do you want me to leave this here?
No, I went through it twice
Okay.
and,
This is probably too deep for me.
It's too deep for me in a lot of areas, but there was one,
to be human is to be a
there was one part of her writings where she wrote about when Agnes and Andy
We're there.
were there, and that one I could follow a lot easier. Yeah. That one to me was interesting because I could see her point of view from that time, so
I
it was
bet.
pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. Huh, interesting. That's an interesting question. Do you respond differently to the word depending on whether or not it is spoken or written by another person or by yourself? I think yes, because I think when we write something down, we know what we mean. Whereas sometimes when we give it to another person that
Mhm.
we've written down, they misinterpret it or whatever. Interesting. Well, when you talk to her, tell her we
Yeah.
are impressed.
I don't know, maybe this is
Now, and this is a picture of Joan and Jean,
that was a
right?
nice picture, yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
see, I'm at this reunion.
Yeah, you went to one reunion. We drove out there. You went to a couple reunions, actually. But one was a Rexilius. This is a District 16.
These pictures are intermingled.
Yeah.
This is,
Well,
this is two
Cindy-
different events.
Cindy tried to get them, and she didn't know because she wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's a cool picture. All right, we better go. We better think about it, or we won't get up. And then you will be. Well, now who is this?
That's Jean and Joan, yeah.
Is it when they were little?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. Oh,
yep. That's what, Lou and Bob, and so Grandma Heston had her hands full with 4 little ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, yeah.
which one is Joan? Do you know?
I can't see from here.
Okay. I think that this one would be Joan. Is that right? Or no?
Well, maybe that's not them. I'm not sure. That doesn't really look like
No,
them.
that's.
Yeah, so
Maybe it was
Maybe-
just a picture she found.
it could be, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 'Cause-
But,
So you can choose either one.
yeah, we have to make it up. That's it.
did you say the differences in the cheekbones?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Jean probably but he's got just a little bit more feminine look
Yeah.
than Joan.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the different pictures. Yeah. I have really some fond memories of going over to, here they are again, even on Park,
Mhm.
and I loved going over there and riding, and Joan would work on cheerleading, would love to, you know,
She
and
was talented in a lot of ways.
we had a lot of fun,
Yep.
the kids and Judy and that. And I'd be
Okay.
there, all right. Okay, all right. Thank you for coming over here.
You're welcome.
We'll take this. All right, you're sure you don't wanna go out? We could even take you to lunch. Do you wanna go to Ben Franklin?
Oh, now you finally get it. We all do. We all want to go. We've been waiting for somebody to suggest.
I'm not- I'm not sure they're open on Sundays.
They are today till the sale's over.
Oh,
because
okay.
I asked.
Mhm.
Thinking, now if
Heavenly
Jane,
Father, we come in Jesus' precious name. We're thankful you're God. We belong to the family of God. We've enjoyed this visit. We pray as they go back home that you keep Lloyd alert. We thank you again that we can fellowship and that we'll all join together someday because of grace. Amen.
thank you, Lord, thank you. Thank you that we're family. I really
Yeah, thanks
think
for
about
coming
that
out.
so often that we really are blessed,
Yes,
you know, with our family and
so many families are torn apart
and even though, you know, there were bumps along the road and that kind of thing, I've always felt like, you know, I could call any one of my family
Yeah.
and they would be there.
Yep.
They
No,
were,
and Mother's Day, I was
yeah.
tremendous mother. I always, I didn't know Lloyd's mother that well, but I always felt that she was equal to our mom.
Yeah, she was a good mom. She was a good mom, and somebody sent me a Happy Mother's Day, and I wrote back to them, and they're younger, and I thought, you know, they've given their daughters in college now, and I thought, that mom has given her daughter a good foundation, and that's what I think like with Suzanne and Jenna and that too. Well, thank you for letting,
Okay.
this was a good visit, it really was, and who knows when we'll be out again, you never know. May just get the urge and,
Yeah, you may get home and turn around and
Yeah.
come right back, yeah.
I told Mike, he called me this morning and I said, well, get ready, we decided we're just this far, we're gonna come to Idaho. But no, I don't think I could take
Well,
that
when
right now.
Lloyd gets back and he gets to ride that John Deere,
When he's out there.
He might not be allowed to ride it, I don't know.
well, I figured when Andy's working like, maybe I should learn to call him Andrew.
Oh, no, I don't think he would mind. Yeah, but you might practice if you're gonna live with them. You know, you better start there.
I better start calling Mr. if I live with him.
Yeah, Urbatus.
Yeah. Mr. U.
Yeah, that's what Lydia calls her grandma, Yu.
Really? Huh.
Grandma Yu. I'm
Oh.
Mimi.
Huh.
Emma gave that one to me. Otherwise, I'm Grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd is Bumpy.
Bumpy.
Isn't that weird? Of all things and of all people, because he just wanted to be Grandpa. And if Tommy didn't come up with Bumpy, because he had a thing around his neck. 'cause of
Oh,
surgery.
yeah, okay. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, you be careful. You take
All
care.
right, we'll see you guys.
All right, we're gonna
Thanks.
come upstairs and see you off.
Wave
Well,
to us,
Are
okay.
you sure you want to?
Yeah.
I gotta get my exercise for the day.
That's right.
You might want to get a breath of fresh air. John,
I talked about some
This-
storming today.
Yeah, it was supposed to rain all day today, but I don't know if it's
and then
gonna
they were
do that.
changing it a little bit and saying it might not be until this evening.
Yeah, they keep blowing it over.
Yeah. And I thought there was supposed to be some rain yesterday.
Yeah, it was supposed to rain, I think, all day yesterday even, yeah.
The
They
night
don't know.
before showed 3 different time levels, and all 3 of them like 40, 60, 80% chance of rain.
Huh.
Did
Wow.
they ever say where the smoke was coming from?
Yeah.
From Canada, the fires.
Is that okay?
And
Uh-huh.
Minnesota.
In Minnesota. Wow.
Boy.
Yeah.
They assured us that the Blue Angels would have a program today.
You know what? You've got a cozy little place. You've done.
Yeah.
You've done. I like this. Little area.
Yeah.
Looks.
Yeah, it's handy.
All right.
I would never live down here
Yeah.
unless I could roll down every week.
That's what Jane. They put up a railing. On their stairway too, because of the.
Theirs is a long, steep.
Oh, theirs is a kind of cool. It's a little cool.
Have a good summer.
Oh, yes.
See you soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you again.
All
Take
right.
care. We love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, and be sure if you put anything on Facebook.
No, I won't. I'll just send this to you because there was a.
But I was just gonna say, touch-ups. Always do a touch-up on me. Make me look a little skinnier.
Okay. All right. All right. Bye. Well, it's not so smoky today.
Well, it did clear out good.